Hey, what's up, anybody watching this? This is Chad, and in this little tutorial, I'm just gonna basically kind of describe how you use Zoho projects, and how you integrate that with the Time Doctor software. So, starting off, you should already have received like an email um, for you to be able to sign up for both Zoho projects and Time Doctor. So you should just basically follow the instructions in what you need to do for that. And then once you've done that, you could basically hop on and start doing everything that I'm going to kind of show you. It'll take especially a little bit of time to get the Zoho project set up because it uses like a two-token authentication system where you'll need to set up a phone number for it to validate anytime you log in. After so long, or if you're using a new device, it'll make you verify through your phone. So make sure you get all that set up before kind of going through this tutorial. And if you have any questions, if you are set up in Slack, which you probably should be if you've gotten access to everything else, in Slack, if you ever have any questions, you can always message me, which is Chad Brooks here. You could also probably message Will May. And she helps with like the bookkeeping and whatnot, and she also helps set up the accounts, so she should be able to help you. And then if either of us are not available, last but not least, you should be able to get assistance from Faye here. So any of those individuals you can go to, whoever's available, and be there will definitely be there to assist you. And that goes with anything related to getting your account initially set up. Probably if you're having issues with your account getting set up, Will May would be the main contact because she's the one that configures the accounts and is the one that gets the email sent to you to set up your account, whatnot. So, but if you can't get a hold of her, I'm definitely available. And if I'm not available, you can always try Faye. She might be limited in some stuff that she can do, but you can just basically kind of go in that order. And then probably same thing with any other questions that you have. Feel free to message either myself or Will May first, and then Faye last. So basically, once you've already got your account set up, um, for your accounts set up, I should say, for both Time Doctor and for Zoho projects, um, you will need to make sure that you download Time Doctor. And you need to make sure there's two different versions. There's the Lite and the Pro. So you want to make sure that you download the Pro. Now, the easiest way that I find to just find out where to download Time Doctor is just type download Time Doctor. You could put Pro, but it's just going to bring up the same page anyways. And the exact URL, at least at this time, is the timedoctor.com/download.html. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that link. Now, obviously, I already have Time Doctor here installed. So I'm not going to worry about downloading it. Now, the very first page is going to be for the Lite, okay? And this is the one you don't want to get. You want to just go ahead and download the Pro here, okay? So as far as platforms go, you can pretty much use Time Doctor on everything. I mean, it even has apps for cell phones, but I mean, unless under certain conditions, you shouldn't need to use that. Usually, I would assume you're going to be using it for a desktop computer or laptop that you're using. So the platforms are basically Windows, Mac, and even Linux. So that gives you wide options depending on what type of operating system you're using. So you'll just basically follow the download instructions and install it based on how it's normally done. I mean, pretty simple. If you're using Windows, it's just an exe file and you run it. And Mac, I'm not too sure, but Linux is, I've installed it on Linux, and it's pretty simple as well. It's just a package that you install with the package feature. So Anyways, once you've done that, you'll have Time Doctor available, and you should be able to log in with the same account that you created online. And then you should the next stage after you've basically installed Time Doctor and you've logged into Time Doctor is you want to make sure that you are already logged into projects in Zoho. So to do that, you'll go to projects.zoho.com. Now, like mine, it's usually I have it, where it's remembers me and it's going to automatically keep me logged in. So if you're like that, like you're getting to where you get to the home page and it's on the feed, that means that you're basically already logged in. But if not, then you'll get the screen that tells you to log in, and you'll log in, and then you should be at the screen. So first step is you need to make sure that you are logged into Zoho projects, okay? Next thing that you need to do is you need to log into Time Doctor Pro. And what we're basically doing right now is we're going to set up to make sure the integration is set up with Zoho project, or is set up in Time Doctor for Zoho projects. So if you go to timedoctor.com, if you're already logged in like I am, it's going to put your name, hi Chad Brooks, there it says, and then right next to it there it has my dashboard. I'm going to click on that. If you don't see that screen, you're going to probably see like a screen that says to log in. So you're going to log in, and then when you do log in, it'll basically redirect you to the Boost Media dashboard. And once you've gotten to that stage, we need to turn on the integration. You'll need to turn on the integration for Zoho projects. And to do that, you're going to click on the settings, or just not click on it, but highlight it, put your mouse over it, and then it'll bring down the drop-down menu. And then you'll go to your integrations, okay? Now, my integration is already set up, so yours is, if this is your first time, it's obviously going to be a little bit different. And what you're going to need to do is make sure that Zoho, and it should come up on top as available for you, but it's going to be turned off by default, or it probably should be. At least that's how it is with me. And you're going to need to turn that on. And so this is the on and off toggle switch. Now, I would love to go ahead and turn this off and explain what you need to do, but I've gone through so many technical issues with the integration not working with Time Doctor that I'm really scared to kind of do it. So now that I know mine's already kind of set up, I don't want to mess around with it for that very reason. So what I will just kind of do is explain what you should see. And if you do have any questions, just message me or Will May, and we'll be happy to try to help you out there. So basically, by default, it's going to be on the off switch. And if you don't, for some reason, see the available for your company, you should. But if you don't, then it's going to probably just be down here. Like, these are other softwares that are available that you can integrate. And so that should be down here somewhere. You should have that app either down here, but more likely than not, it's going to be, oh, didn't mean to click that. Okay. Man, instead of grabbing the mouse, it's grabbing those little icons for the software I'm recording with. But anyways, now I'm at the top. You should see this up on the top, but instead of having the little green check, it's going to be on the off switch. Now, when you turn it on, you're going to have like something down here that's going to tell you that it's either going to be like you're going to have to enter a key or a passcode, and it's going to give you a link down at the bottom. Like, there'll be some text here, and then there'll be like a link somewhere, and you're going to click on that link. And this is why you want to make sure that you're logged into projects already, because this link is going to open up projects and go to a specific URL. And it's going to give you like that key or code, and then there'll be like a little space here or somewhere here where you enter that key in, or you just copy and then paste it into here, and then you'll hit the button OK or validate or whatever that button says. You click that, and then that's going to tell you, okay, it's been a success. Okay, so once you've done that and you got the little green check, that means you're pretty much set up and good to go for Time Doctor to be integrated. Now, once you've done that, what you want to do is, obviously mine's already synced up, but what you should see once everything is working is you'll see an integrations folder here, and then you'll have Zoho down there. So you probably won't see that when you first have turned on the integration. So in order to see that, you're going to click this sync button, and I can go ahead and click that. Now, the sync button does take some time, probably 2, 3, maybe up to 5 minutes, but I'd say usually 2 to 3 minutes. So, you just got to be patient with it for a little bit, and then it should set everything up. And then once you've clicked that, you should see Zoho, your tasks that are listed to you. And we're going to kind of go over how the tasks are created and what you can do with these. But these tasks are basically ones that are open, that have not basically been marked as completed, and that are assigned either specifically to you or to you and other people. When a new task does get assigned to you, um, the and let's say, like, for instance, I say, hey, I'm creating a new task for you to create an image or to do whatever, and I tell you, okay, that has been created, and it's something that you need to work on right away. You're not going to see it here in your list because it's not synced up. So what you'll need to do is go ahead and click that sync button, and it'll work. And as you can see, I don't know how long it's been, but as I mentioned, it does take a little bit of time. So here you can see it's still syncing up, and you'll know it's done when the sync button shows up again. But whenever a new task gets assigned to you, if you don't see it in your Zoho project, or in your Time Doctor, I should say, under Zoho here, under the integrations, then it's probably because you need to click the sync button. Okay? So once you've done that, then you can basically click on whatever you want to record time for, click that, and click the play button down here. I'll hit pause just for a second so you can see. So I can choose whatever task that I'm on. I'm on my general miscellaneous. It shows that I'm on break right now, but I would click on whatever task that I want, and it's already on general, so I'm going to keep that, and then you'll hit the play button, and it will start recording your time. Okay? And then if you want to see your time, when you go to your dashboard, it'll show you, like, for instance, today I should have worked like almost 9 hours. I've been pretty busy right now for the holidays, because we're getting a lot of stuff done for the year end for some clients. So, this will show your total hours. Time's going to show what you worked last week. This is not completely accurate because for our billing cycle, we start on a Sunday, and this starts on a Monday. And I don't think there's any way to fix that, but you can specify the date. So you can see here it shows the 19th to the 25th for last week. The 19th is a Monday, and Sunday is the 25th. But actually, like, our week period would be the 18th, and it would end on the Saturday. So it's more of a calendar week. This is more like maybe like a business week or whatever you want to call it. But I think you basically get the idea there. So this will show you your time, and it does do screenshots. So you do want to make sure that you don't. I mean, I've done it before where I've accidentally left the time tracker on, and I was messing around watching YouTube or something. So you can go in and delete those, and it'll delete your actual time you worked for that period. And I believe it's like every 15 minutes or so, you can kind of see 7:05, 7:13, 7:21. So it is every few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. So you do definitely want to keep an eye on that. Make sure you're working and getting done what's supposed to be done for your responsibility. And we do check that. I mean, like me as a supervisor, I check people's, like, or not a supervisor, but more of a project manager. I'm checking people's tasks. And then the person that's in charge of the accounting does that as well. And then Jeff, who finally approves does check it as well. So you do want to make sure that you're tracking your time properly. We have caught people in the past improperly trying to track time, and obviously they were let go for that purpose. So um, do make sure you're tracking your time appropriately and accordingly. Don't we understand sometimes you might forget and stuff, and we can be a little lenient and say okay, but that should be a very very rare occasion. Like me, I don't even think I do that once a month, and if I do, it might be for like 15 to 30 minutes or something. So really, you're responsible to ensure that you're tracking your time. So please make sure that you're doing that. Okay. So other than that, what I want to kind of do is just kind of do a brief overview of kind of how to use Zoho Projects. Now, Zoho Projects is a very detailed project management software, but for the purpose of this tutorial, really, I'm just going to kind of describe what you kind of need to understand and know. So when you first log into projects, you're going to be defaulted. It'll redirect you to the default page, which is the feed, and it's under the home section. So really, there's like two sections at the top that you should understand. Home, which is more about, like you can see, it's my task, my. So these are like stuff specifically for you. And then the projects, like that link actually takes you to the projects itself. And whatever projects that you're basically assigned under, you'll see. Because I do a lot with with a little of every project. I've pretty much got almost all the projects. You, on the other hand, may just have a few projects because you're doing work only for those specified ones. So starting off with the home, I just kind of want to describe the main areas you'll want to check out. The feed is awesome because it tells you kind of like different things that are done, that you're kind of been assigned to or following, or if you've been tagged on stuff. So you can kind of quickly go through the feed and see kind of what's happening in different tasks. It tells you, like, I updated this task in Bondia Fitness, and I put a note here and shows kind of what I did. It also shows for yourself as well as for other people. So that's good to kind of take a quick peek at every now and then. Probably the most important thing that you're going to use under the home section here is going to be my tasks. And by default, it's going to filter it by you or whoever you are that's logged in. So it's showing me. So this is all my open tasks. And so this shows me things that I got to kind of work on or have been assigned to me. So if I want to click on, say, like this one, create job posting here, I'll kind of go over kind of the things that you can do with this software. So one here, thing that we really use inside of a task, this is a specific task that I just opened up. I can write comments. So if I need to update something or I need help with somebody to do something, I can tag somebody and they will be sent an email to ensure that they are alerted about this. So if I put @ and I say I wanted, I wouldn't want to tag myself, obviously, but I could. It'll put my name in, and you can click on it like that, or you can just hit enter. And now that I have my name in there like that with the @ sign, you'll see it'll create a blue link, but then I can, put a note here like, hey, this is ready for your approval, or, you can put, can you please, blah, 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 whatever, upload the image now, this has been completed, whatever you have that you need to, that's important to notate on this. Now, the other thing that you need to know is when you're completely done with a task, you will go ahead and mark it as complete, and that's up on the top here. Okay, so once you've done that, that'll actually close the task out, and then after your time doctor is synced, it will disappear from your task because it's no longer open. Okay, so that's important to understand and make sure that you're completing your task accordingly. And then this shows the project name, so what project it is. Usually that's going to be a client name. Here it's Unlimited. And then this section is kind of what we're doing. This is website maintenance. And then the task list will give you, like, each task will be placed under a task list. So we could specify like job hiring or whatever. If it's something that's just kind of a one-time deal like this is, you can just put it under the general, okay? And in milestones, I'm not going to really go through too much because I haven't done much myself, but definitely something we're going to use in the future. And so we'll make sure that, if you're still working with us and we're using it, that you're trained properly on kind of how you use that. But for now, we'll just ignore it. This shows who it's assigned to. This shows just me, but it could be more than one person. So if I needed to assign this to somebody else, I could click the change, and let's say I want to assign this to Wilmay. So I just start typing her name, and it'll come up, and then I can just click it, okay? And then you can assign more than one person. So then the start date, when it started, and then when the task is due, and then this will give you the duration. And then the priority generally should be set. I'll set this one to like medium. And, obviously you want to work on your high tasks first. So the ones that you see are assigned that are high, those are the ones that you kind of want to work on that are more code red. So other than that, that's pretty much all here. There is a section here that you can create. We do have like for reoccurring, and I don't know why for some reason this isn't showing, but there's a section. Oh, maybe it's because this screen showing up. Yeah, there we go. Now the actual scroll button or scroll bar was kind of missing, but let me try to get it to pop up. Okay. So if I scroll down and I'm trying, and it's not being nice to me. Okay. You can set a reminder. So for instance, like if you want like a task that you need to get done, but you're like, well, I got this other stuff that I need to work on. So I'll make sure that I work on this by, on Friday. You could set a reminder here to remind you on Friday, hey, make sure you work on this task. So that's handy. And then the other thing is you can make it recurring. And so I could set this up for like monthly. I can set this up for weekly. So if this was set up as a recurring, and let's say I set it up for every month on the 15th for it being due, once I hit mark as complete, let's say this was due on December 15th, for instance, if I click the mark as complete, it'll create a new task that's going to be due on January 15th. So, you definitely want to use that feature as well. So other than that, that's pretty much it here with the tasks. And if it's something that you accidentally created, you can obviously delete it here as well. Generally something we don't use too often, but if it's needed, you can use that feature. Okay. So, I want to go ahead and kind of go through like the project section. Oh, let me kind of go through one other section here, which is the timesheet. This will show you your hours that are recorded, and these are integrated with Time Doctor. But with Time Doctor itself, you need to make sure that, to understand that basically, like with this, for instance, like it's showing me 0 hours, and this is because there's something that the bookkeeping person does that adds the hours in after so much time or whatever. I'm not too sure, but like if I wanted to go back to last week, these hours that I have here will show for each day match the hours that are in Time Doctor. Okay, so you can kind of look at that to make sure you have the hours that you worked and are probably approved at that time. So other than that, these other things we're not really using too much. You probably won't have to worry about that. So in the project section, you're only going to see projects that you're an actual user for. So for instance, like if I go to this Buendia project and I click on users, if you're not added as a user in this project, then you're probably not going to be able to see that project. Well, not probably, you won't be able to. So you should only be assigned projects that you're actually being required to do work for. So you should have, like, the ones that you most recently clicked will show up on top, and then you'll have the projects here that will be your master list of all the projects that have been assigned to you. So we'll just go ahead and click back on this Buendia project, and it's also going to give you a dashboard for this specific project. So the other one that you saw, like, was actually called Feed in the home. It's kind of like the same thing, except for home, that's going to show multiple projects that you've actually either been assigned to or tasks that you're following, and it'll give you updates on those specific things. But under the project section, and when you're in the dashboard, this is only specific to that project, right? So under this, really, there's only going to be pretty much the task will be important for you to understand, so I'll go over that. Bugs and milestones at this time are not using as much, so not really important to understand. We're not doing too much with the calendar and the document section we're using. And the rest of this, you could look at the timesheet. That's going to show what hours have been tracked to that specific project, and it'll show other people as well. So I don't think that's really too important. But really the main things you need to understand is the tasks and the document section. Okay, so under the tasks, it's just like showing any tasks that are open. And there is one thing that I did forget, and let me kind of hop back. I don't mean to skip on this, but I want to make sure, like, you understand that under this, it shows filter by me here. This is under the home section, my tasks. You can actually change the filter, and you can see what, like, other people that it's been assigned to if you need to look at their tasks. And you could also see ones that are closed. By default, if you don't choose either of these, it's just going to use open, so you don't almost have to use that. And the one thing that kind of important that you can kind of do is, like with the filters, is maybe you want to make sure you're looking just at your tasks that are assigned that are high. So you could click that, and boom, that'll filter and give you all the high priority tasks. Okay. Let's say, for instance, that I want to just look at all my tasks that are actually just overdue. Okay. I can click on that, and that'll give me a listing of my overdue tasks, right? That's a very cool feature that you can use, and I forgot to mention that, so I wanted to just hop back to that for a second, and then you can kind of do the same thing under the tasks here. And this is just going to be for this project, though. But if I go to the filter button here, for instance, I can, by default, it's open. It's the same thing. I can look for specific people that the owner is assigned to. I can just look at, for instance, tasks that are just high priority under Buendia, and that'll give me those tasks that are under this project. Okay, so that's really helpful to kind of use. And if you wanted, for instance, let's say, you could do this either. I'll show you two different ways, just kind of give you an idea of how you can use this. Let's say you wanted to look for just tasks that are open to you, that's specific to a specific project, so Buendia. So there's a couple ways you could do that. Number one is going to the home section, going to my task, clicking the filter button, and then here you can actually click the project. So you can go into the list and say, hey, I want anything that's open under me for, let me see, Buendia, okay? So I don't want just overdue, I want everything that's open. So I'm going to click the find, and now I'm going to get a listing of all my tasks that are in the Buendia website maintenance project, okay? So that's a very cool feature you can use there too. The other route you could go is just go to the actual project itself, and then you don't need to select Buendia because you're in the project, so you'll go to the task section you click the filter button, and then after you click that, it doesn't show a project name because it's just for Buendia. So I can look here as well. This is going to basically bring up the same report because it's already filtering by Buendia in this. So these should basically be the same. So just a couple ideas that you can look at in order to filter and see tasks if need be. Okay. It works basically the same way as the My Task. If you click on your task or whatever task, they'll have the comment section. There are some other sections here, and we don't really use these at this time, so I'm not really going to focus on those. But the comment section still here is just the same task, just a different way that you open it. You open it through the project instead of going through My Tasks, okay? And all this stuff is basically the same. So other than that, I think that kind of describes what you can do with under the project section. And then under the document section here, this is really important, is where you can upload files. And these files will always be in this project. So if it's something that's specific to this project, it's probably important to put it in here. So you have folders. By default, what's really nice is it shows you the most recent things that were uploaded. So I know that a person I was working with, for instance, on a landing page, uploaded the Ping version and a PSD or Photoshop distribution file for a landing page that we did, and that was just recently done. So this isn't like the home directory. This is just showing what's been uploaded recently, as it shows you here today. But this one, like, is actually here. You can see there's a folder. So, like, for instance, this should be in landing pages. So I can click on the landing pages folder and see what's there. So if you need to create a new folder, you can definitely do that. You just go to the new and then folder, but make sure where you're at is the location you want to create the folder. So if I want to put the root directory, I want to click on folders. And by default, this is where it takes you to the recent section, but this is the actual home directory of the folders. Then here I could create a new folder. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. It works kind of like Google Docs in a way. Not as friendly. I can't just, like in Google Docs, I could probably just right-click. Oh, yeah, you can actually. So you could just right-click, create a new folder there as well. So, and this shows you the path. So if I did go to, like, clothing designs, oh yeah, you can't double click here. I always forget that. That's one thing you can do in Google Docs. You can't do here. You actually have to just click it once, and you have to click the actual name. So once you've done that, you know, you'll be in this path here. And then if you created a new folder, it'll be created in the folder that I just opened. Okay, which is clothing designs. Okay, so other than that, I don't really think there's any much else that I could really explain, you know, but if there is anything in the future, you know, definitely, you know, we'll let you know and make sure you're trained. We do plan to add in some new features, or not add new features, but use some of the new features that Projects has. But at this time, this is kind of basically a dry rundown of what we're currently using and kind of how you use it. So if you do have any questions, again, feel free to message me in Slack. If you're not in Slack, probably you originally communicated with me in Skype, so feel free to contact me there, or you can also contact Wilmay. All right, well, thank you for viewing this, and look forward to working with you.